Welcome back to Whiskey and Business Podcast. This is Travis and my friend Josh.
What up, what up?
We're here to talk about whiskey and business. What whiskey are we drinking today?
Listen, I've never heard about this. In full transparency,
He's nervous.
no. Listen, this is a select value Wolf Moon straight bourbon whiskey from the line Travis picked up. Okay?
But
I'm going to be
look,
full transparent. Listen,
It has a cool wolf on the back with the trees.
listen, it's
Look
got
how
a cool
impressive
design.
that bottle is.
Okay.
That's good branding
You
right
know
there.
what?
Which is the topic.
That is true. That is true.
I'm just going to keep it like that.
But
so I can see the
realistically
cool wolf.
speaking, if they had good branding, you wouldn't have to buy it in a line.
It was only $5 off. It was still expensive.
So, yes, it's Wolf Moon straight bourbon whiskey. I've never had it. Obviously, Travis has just demolished this bottle so far. So we're going to... obviously, it's good. So, well...
It's not bad.
Maybe, unless Travis's taste buds are fucking broken. So we'll find out right now.
A gentleman doesn't judge. He just drinks.
Yes. All right. We're going to take a drink of this, and then at the end of the podcast, we'll go and review it, tell you what we think about it, and we'll go from there. The topic of at hand today is branding and brand awareness out here locally. We're gonna kind of talk about local a little bit on this podcast. I don't necessarily want to go nationwide branding, just because there's a lot more that goes into that. I want to focus into local because most of our clientele, that's the whole thing, is they worry about local, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the same principles apply.
Yeah.
I think that we'll micro focus on local, but we're going to go over what benefits there are to
Exactly.
having a strong brand and being intentional.
Yes.
I mean, last week we talked about being intentional with video.
Right.
Being intentional with your brand. Don't just throw the dart at the dartboard and
Right.
pick whatever color it lands on. Have symbolism.
Yes.
Have purpose. It matters and it helps.
Yes. So cheers, my man. Let's try it out.
We'll get back to that.
Shit, I just fucking skyrocketed. Okay. All right.
Need a
Yep,
minute?
lost my train of thought.
This is why we don't let Josh try it until the actual
See,
moment.
yeah, what people don't realize is sometimes I try it before just so I don't get caught off guard. But Travis is always telling me to wait because he likes my reaction. So, you know
Fun. It's good camera fodder. It's good stuff.
what? True that. So, all right, let's start it off. So, branding differences. Let's go with that. So, what's the difference, in your opinion? Mostly it's not an opinion, but when you get a client or you're coaching somebody or you're talking to somebody about business and they want branding, but then they expect a lot of conversions from it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with branding, it's a lot different of a campaign, a lot different of content that you're going to create, a lot of different variables than let me make money on my marketing campaign. So with in your mind, what's the difference from branding through advertising?
Well, branding is important for a company because it gives someone something to relate to.
Right.
You look at a company with a good brand, it makes you feel safe. It makes you feel like you can relate to it. There's something that sticks in the person's mind when they look at a good brand that they are able to understand. And if a person isn't investing into having a good brand, like I've had clients reach out to me to do professional videography,
Right.
and their brand sucks. And when I look at it, and it's like
Their brand
have,
presence,
like,
you mean?
they have like a really like off logo, or they
right. Right.
Their website is not
Horrible colors, like blacks and reds, and you're like, what the fuck?
well. They've put no, like, maybe they just have bad taste, which you don't want to insult somebody, but
Right.
when something just does not look good at its core or hasn't been tended to well, yet they're wanting to create a video that drives people to a site that sucks,
Right.
doesn't look good, and doesn't have consistency through social media. And the colors are all off, or their profile picture is a really grainy version of a logo that's hand drawn or something, and you're like, guys, no, the power of having a even just a good logo, or a good color scheme. Like these days, most of my clients, I say, hey, can you send over a branding kit? If you don't know what that is, please send me your logo in a big enough file. your color scheme, and
they
your
send
fonts.
you JPEG. They send you a JPEG that's like 100 by 100. You can't zoom in.
And it's not even that expensive. Like,
Right.
you know, there's some really great, like, I know some guys around here who build amazing logos.
Right.
And you and I have both built logos in our day.
Right.
Like, we can do it. But there's some guys that is their specialty.
Right.
And they don't just make a logo. They create an entire brand with the colors, and it all has symbolism.
Right.
And it comes with a mission statement built with that company as to what those colors mean to the brand identity.
Exactly.
And it's so intentional, and it's powerful because now they are taking the time to say, our company represents this. And that matters, even if you're putting that effort to show what your quality means to you and what it should mean to your customers,
Mm-hmm.
that makes a huge difference to public perception and something to build a good, solid foundation of marketing off of.
And then, so pretty much like, so the logo aspect, but that when people say branding, right, they think, you know, there's a skew of like when they say branding, they think like just the logo. Like it's just tunnel vision into like, oh, like my logo,
Right.
and I have to do a bunch of commercials. It's like, no, branding is like what your brand looks like across all platforms, not just one platform, not just one video that you create.
Right.
It's like, okay, if you create this video, does it represent everything else about your business? Does your Facebook page, does your logo, does your YouTube channel, does your website, does your landing pages, does everything cohesively look and feel the same when people go and find you elsewhere? That's the point of branding, right? Mm-hmm. But that's just the image.
Right.
Branding goes into,
Color,
your
font,
exactly
vibe, verbiage.
Yes. Mission statements, but then it gets into what your values are, what you offer, your presence on these platforms, right?
Branding is like
everything.
making a company a person that you can relate to. Like
Yes.
it is just putting as much character and intention and purpose into an embodiment of what represents you.
Right.
It's not just one logo.
No.
Especially if it's done right.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that every mom and pop store has to have a 5-page dossier on how important their brand is.
Right.
But if you start with being intentional on the little things and grow it from there, I mean, having a mission statement can make such a big difference, even if it's for a small company.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like,
Have purpose.
like how strong is it? Like for mine, it's getting you bottom line results. That's my mission statement.
Yeah.
But like when you hear that, you're like, yeah, that's pretty much what I want, right? Like that's
I think mine is make your vision a reality.
right. But when they hear that, they instantly are like, oh, okay. Like it's something that psychologically hits somebody, and they know what your vision is, and they know if they want to hire you or not. But it's like, the thing is about branding is most local companies don't think that they need to spend any money on it, or why is it so expensive? Because when somebody's like, hey, I want branding, I'm like, sweet, okay, so you're going to need SEO, you're going to need social media management, you're going to need content created, you're going to need advertising. Like,
Right.
They're like, why is that so expensive, right? And I'm like, you said you wanted branding. Like, you didn't want to just advertise, you wanted branding.
You wanted the whole shebang. Branding goes into everything.
Yes.
And if someone's asking you to create content without having a brand first, you almost have to create a brand just to make the content correctly. Like,
yeah, and it's hard. You know what I mean? So, like, I do more advertising campaigns than I do branding campaigns.
yeah.
Because the branding campaigns, obviously, branding is not an ROI positive upfront for a company.
Yeah.
But realistically speaking, the importance of branding is you're on top of their mind at all times. Like, you're creating the content, you're out there, and they see your pictures, your videos, your testimonials, your reviews, your listings. They see everything, but like, because you're there and you're in the community and you're engaging in topics and you're helping the environment and the community in general. That's branding, right? But then when they know about you, they remember all the stuff that they've seen you on, like your Facebook, your website. They've seen it all, and it looks all the same. So you look super professional in that way. But then when they need your service, they're going to think about you because you were the one that were on top of their mind that provided them value, entertainment, and not just selling to them. That's branding.
Yeah.
But that takes a lot of dang work.
Repetition.
But it's so easy to do. It's a lot of work, but it's easy to do. Especially locally out here. You go into a local store, all they have to do is just do one video a day, post that to all their channels, just talking about a topic that actually helps the community out and provides value. That's branding.
Right.
The first thing that people are going to think about if they want to go to that business, whether that's a plumber, pest control company, or a restaurant, they're going to want to go to that restaurant or service-based business because you were the one that was engaging with them online and branding yourself versus the other competition that they would just have to Google search for their service or whatever they want to do and click on the first link that comes up.
Well,
but they don't have to do that.
Especially here, because if you have a distinct enough brand and if you are an individual, then you're creating that content that is way and far above everyone else. Plus, no one else is doing it yet, so you're already distinct.
It's an open book out here, man.
If multiple people start doing it, your personality and your brand is what we're talking about today.
Yes,
will set you apart from
the competition
that might be doing it,
and that's the whole thing. The problem with companies is they generalize branding with like, well, I'm not a Coca-Cola or I'm not a Nike or whatever the case may be, right? You don't have to be that right off the bat. You can eventually get to that point. Yeah, sure.
And you can learn from them. I mean,
yes.
I mean, I feel like, you and I have spent a lot of time studying what works and what doesn't.
Right.
But you and I have been marketed to our entire lives.
Yes.
Like, we know what it's like to be marketed to, and we've seen when that marketing has worked and when it has failed.
Yeah. I wear chukkas. I wear Vans almost always because they got me when I was young, and that's it. That's all I know.
Yeah.
And then Walmart got me because they got cheap clothes that I can buy for $3 and just if it rips, I'm good. But that's branding.
Yeah.
They got me.
Absolutely. And like, you can watch the patterns. They go through rebranding without full on changing everything every 3 to 5 years. You'll watch a new slogan roll out, and all of the commercials follow that slogan. A new jingle, and all of the commercials focus on that specific thing that they decide to push, and that's a branding. That's like a micro rebranding.
It is.
It's not.
I think Nike's logo went through 8 changes, bro.
Right. Well, and I mean, look at Nike getting that.
I think Apple's went through 4.
Right. Do you remember? Do you remember Nike's like meme that went viral when just do it became a meme where someone made fun of it once and then everyone just started changing the word.
That's probably why they just got rid of it. Now it's just the asterisk.
Right. No, but what happened was it became a meme where they would change the just do it to just something. And it would change every single time.
Right.
But the thing is, no matter what they changed it to, no matter what they were making fun of, offensive or not offensive, the Nike swoosh was still there.
Right.
So they went viral, and everyone saw the Nike swoosh for like weeks on end.
Right.
And it was insane. Because Nike put out a campaign, and people are like, oh, that's bigotry. Or they did something that pissed people off. So people memed it. And then Nike got so much free publicity. Because they became a meme, and you can't. I don't know if you can do that intentionally.
No, yeah, that was organic, bro.
But still,
they got lucky. They got lucky.
So lucky, and because they had the brand already there with the just do it, it became memeable.
Right,
and their brand saved them.
That's awesome.
They made so much.
Cool. That's a cool story.
Insane.
Yeah, like it's funny because like an example is like our buddy Andy, right? Andy Silvius. So I've been marketing with him. So Andy's really Andy's a go-getter with marketing. He understands the branding and then advertising sides of everything. He's more into the branding right now, right? But the difference is it's taken him, let's say 6-7 months to where now it was that long of him consistently uploading videos, podcasts, social media stuff, getting himself out there, just doing it, just like no pun intended. We were just talking about
just do it.
But he was just going out there, putting his work into it, branding himself. And like 7-8 months later, even a year later, Now he's seeing people are like, yeah, I saw your video, or I saw you online, or I saw your podcast. That's branding.
Yeah.
That's smart branding. Because what happens if a recession hits, or another pandemic hits, or people just stop spending money, or the housing crisis comes out again? Those are all real things that'll happen. But who would people spend money with? Mm-hmm. It's the people that they trust already, that have built rapport indirectly online, versus the companies that they just have to Google. People want to be comfortable and know that their money's going to go places where they need it to go, and it's going to actually perform where they need it to perform, versus the companies that they don't know. So all of these brands that people have been following, people are just going to stick to them. That's it.
Yeah.
Right? And if you're everywhere online, people are going to trust you.
You
right?
go where you're comfortable.
You're recession proof. That's what branding is. It's recession proof. Coca-Cola is going to outlast. That's the whole thing, is branding. Even at a national scale, same thing as local scale. If people just were wiped out and everybody lost money, people would still buy Coke. People would still buy Pepsi. People would still buy Nike shoes. People would still buy all these things because it's branding.
Well, and the big companies know that. Like, you pay attention on YouTube. Sometimes instead of a YouTube advertisement video, it'll be like, which of these brands have you heard of?
Right.
And you click the ones that you know. Or which movie are you looking into? That is so valuable because you answer it, skipped ad. They incentivize you to answer.
Right.
But now they can put the feelers out of, I mean, I don't know who pays for them specifically. Maybe Google does to give their own analytics back to the companies. But it's like, hey, because of your ads you've been running, they can provide that survey info straight back to those companies. And it's interesting to see it in real time. Because you and I, we're doing marketing in a smaller community and, in a larger community for larger clients. But, it's so interesting to observe from the inside what big companies are doing. Right. Because when you think about it, you can learn a lot.
And plus they do spend millions of dollars. Like, that's the thing, right?
They do.
But they didn't spend millions of dollars right away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing, is like, when I talk to a company locally here, I'm like, they're like, hey, how do we get... The one question I always get is, how do we get our name out there? Mm-hmm. With branding. Okay, well, how do I do that? Well, you got to do this, and this.
What?
You're right. And they're like, well, I can't afford that. But I'm like, well, then start small and then do your own branding. And get your iPhone that we discussed and shoot it horizontally and just talk to your community. You know what I mean? Like,
stand with the window.
Branding doesn't need to be complicated. People overcomplicate it because, when they tell me they want branding, obviously I'm going to tell them all the services that are involved with branding, because I'm not going to do one-off services of branding because it's not going to benefit the client, and then they're going to come back and say it didn't work. Right. And
one piece of a puzzle.
Exactly. I'm not going to do. I'm not just going to do one piece of the puzzle. If you want a branding package, you're going to get a branding package with me.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a.
Which kick-ass, by the way.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro. Thanks,
Miller
dude.
Media Co.
Yeah. But let me put it out there. Branding and advertising are, in my opinion, two separate things. Because advertising is, you want an outcome as in ROI, versus you just have extra money, or you have money that you want to do branding for, and you want to be and the value that it's going to bring a year from now. But there's two separate freaking things.
Yeah, but can you advertise a bad brand?
You can. So,
but
the thing is,
they end up at
the thing is,
you're driving traffic
they're limited,
to.
Right? Like, they're always going to be limited into paying for it, right? Like,
right.
You can advertise a bad brand image or a bad brand in general because you're paying for the advertising, right? And then as long as the marketer or yourself, or like the business owner yourself, is doing it correctly, you're going to get the conversions no matter what. Yeah, but you're always going to be paying for that. That's it.
Yeah, it's so hard. Like, you would almost have to charge them more to create a brand to even be integrated into a good advertisement.
That's true.
You can do an advertisement, but it's just going to be text unless you help them hone in. Like, I've done this before.
Yes.
I've done this before where what they handed to me was not satisfactory. We'll just say that. It wasn't I was like, so I took what was their logo and I had to make it better because it was part of a poster they had like 5 years ago. It was like their profile, and they didn't have a logo they could send me. They sent me that, and I was like, this won't do. I will not make a commercial where this is their brand. And this is what I'm calling back to. And
but let me kick back to you, because I have an experience that you'll probably be intrigued about, because. So there's this client I have. Shout out to Joshua Tree Physical Therapy. So they've been with me for day one, bro. And Kevin, who's the owner of Joshua Tree Physical Therapy, he created this pain lotion because he had leukemia, and he's healed from it now, thankfully. But he created a lotion just for himself, but it worked so friggin' well. He started wanting to sell it, and they were doing. And their brand was so in its infancy. Like I remember their logo was like a JPEG created, super choppy. Like when you zoom in and blow it up, you can't do shit with it. So I had to create all that, and I had to revamp their packaging and But before I did anything, bro, I literally took what they had and did a really good advertisement and a good advertising video, and I did a storytelling one where I told his story of why he created the product. I knew that was going to go to a demographic of older people or people that were suffering from leukemia or whatever the case may be, or any pain.
Yeah.
So I knew it was it wasn't for everybody, but I needed to build that data. I didn't have anything. This brand was so freaking new, dude. Like they didn't have any brand image. Like there wasn't a website, there wasn't a listing, there wasn't anything, bro. I literally just went in there, created a video, got their product, ran a great Facebook ad campaign. Took me 4 months to build some data up to get the first 100 orders online. Created a lookalike audience, and then literally now they're making $100,000 to $150,000 a year off a $15 product before we did any.
Wow.
Thing other than taking what they had, which was nothing, and then now we've generated the revenue.
Yeah.
With the ads that I've ran, to where now they've put in the money on SEO, and they've put in the money on more pay-per-click, and they put in the money on more graphics, but they didn't have that budget to just like dump into it. And literally it started with a budget of $200 a month on Facebook. Now they're spending $5,000 a month on Facebook ads.
Dude,
with nothing.
That's a success story. That's legit.
Nothing. So I would say that's an anomaly.
Yeah, but
for the grand scheme of things, yes, you
have to have a really skilled marketer to like be able to pull that off, though. Like,
yeah, that was
especially nowadays. Like when someone sees an ad and they're like if I click on something. If I buy in, if there's a good enough ad to make me buy in, and it goes to a site with the JPEG logo where it's just falling apart, then it's like, oh, scam, I throw my phone across the room. It's like, oh, and that's where I was like, well, how can you do it if you can't? But if the end goal is order now,
that's it.
You have a good enough thing that doesn't just throw up red flags to make the sale, I can see how it would be okay.
I would say the moment we started doing branding. Their reoccurring income started going up.
But the startup
was rough, and they were cool enough. That's the whole thing. They were cool.
I don't know how you resisted not just making one like that. That's like no. That's something that's hard for me.
Right.
Is to create something where it doesn't look how I want it to look, and I know that it's because they haven't put the money in. That's where I get cornered into. Donating things I don't want to donate because
I did.
It's so difficult to do
bro.
an inferior product without creating something for free just so it succeeds, because I hate creating something that isn't as perfect as it can. You did?
I did, bro.
Okay.
You're in the same boat as me, man. I did a lot of free services, bro. A lot of free services for that client because they were one of my firsts.
Yeah.
Like they were the first clients, and they put me on a retainer, and I was like, sick, dude. Like they're paying me. At first, it was like $700. They were paying me. I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna be paid $700."
It's cool that they would take that risk, but I'm a little mad at you because I thought you didn't create that, and you just put out like a text ad with some good
no,
video
dude,
content
no.
without making them a logo to actually represent it. And I'm like, how?
That's hilarious.
I don't understand it because what you're telling me is, oh no, you can do it without having a good brand.
No.
I don't know how I could do that. I would drive me crazy.
You can. So where I did. So yeah, to clarify that. So I just took what they had, which was a logo that was not necessarily it wasn't a vector file. It was very, very grainy, but that's all they had. And
you improved
I didn't. Okay, so yeah, I didn't do all that before that.
Okay.
So I was kind of confused. So I know all of that infancy, bro. I didn't put any of the free work to improve it before. I was just trying to get the sales right off the bat to pay to give them the revenue to give me the time to do that. But
then later that funded you creating their brand.
Yes, later that funded the more money to put into it.
That makes sense then. Okay.
You know, but realistically, they started from ground zero.
That's awesome that you could make a compelling enough ad by creating it with intention, knowing what would make the sale, without having to upfront just give them this stuff to succeed.
Right.
So they could pay you so they could succeed.
Because that's what every marketer should be doing.
But amazing.
Right. Yeah. Every marketer that you as a business owner should be paying should be in the business of wanting to generate you money. Right? I don't care what you're into. If you're a videographer, if you're a digital marketer, if you're a social media marketer, if you're anybody, they should be in the business of how can I make them money, and then and on the marketer side, it's like you make the money because then they're going to go and back up and pay you for other services. Like I just had a buddy of mine, John. Shout out to Organic Pest Control. So John is a really good buddy of mine. He's in my BNI group, and he started with pay-per-click with me, dude. Like a month later, he hits me up and he's like, hey, bro, let's do SEO now. Like, the ads are doing freaking phenomenal. Let's do SEO. Sick, dude. Like, because I made him money. Like, I made it worth it. I got him, 16, 17 different new clients in 1 month, which, gave him way more ROI than what he spent. And so he was like, sick, dude, let's start SEO now. But that's what everybody should be doing. Not marketing just to throw something out there and hope for the best. You know what I mean? And if that's the case, you should be doing some free services for people for some testimonials and learning, dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's the difference of advertising and branding. Branding is the after effect of your advertising, or the before effect, where it's like your branding will push your advertising. Mm-hmm. Your branding will increase absolutely everything you do for your business, and it's necessary. Yeah. You can't just go all of your life in your business just doing advertising. Because then your ROI is not going to be growing, and you're constantly going to have to be throwing money into these paid advertising sectors instead of just branding yourself, because then after a year, you're generating organic results that you don't have to spend money on.
Well, a person can't live without an identity, without understanding, the core of what makes up who they are.
Right.
And a brand can't exist without taking the time to determine what their brand is. Like, a business needs a brand. It is the identity. Right. You can advertise and make money all you want, but what is going to generate return customers, what is going to create comfortability with you as a business, is that brand a person can depend on and can relate to. I mean, you see cheesy ass ads all the time for huge brands.
Fuck, dude. You imagine how many we see, dude.
I brought this up several episodes ago when they have the touching commercial, and then Apple pops up.
Yeah,
or Ford,
that's right.
Or Super Bowl is. It's always
dude, I love Super Bowl commercials, bro.
There's some funny ones, but then there's the super touching, intense ones, and it's just like, drive our new Ford pickup because support the troops.
I know, dude. Yeah, that's bad, bro. It's branding. To a marketer, branding. I'm like, yeah, whatever, I roll. But dude, I don't watch football. I'm the anomaly out of all of my buddies out here that are business owners, and they're like, yeah, dude, you watch fucking game, and I'm like, dude, I don't watch any sport whatsoever. So I'll tag along, and you just tell me who to vote for.
Dude, I'm in the same boat. Like, my girlfriend's family is all about sports. They're right. They're from Seattle, so I know all of the teams that I need to support. Right. I was gonna go over there a couple years ago.
You did your research and shit.
I bought a shirt that says "sports!" exclamation mark, and I'm like, I will wear this shirt anytime there's a game.
Shit.
Sports.
That's hilarious. Yeah, dude. I will. The only thing, like Super Bowl, I love it because of the barbecue and the fucking commercials. That's
the
it.
Listeners and the followers.
Because
are dropping
honestly, like I think commercials, like if there's anybody locally out here, if there's any businesses listening right now, do not fucking invest your money into TV commercials. Do not invest your money into radio commercials. But if you have $700,000 or $1 million, I would invest in a fucking Super Bowl commercial because the eyeballs on that shit. And then I'd hire Pulse Productions to make you a funny ass fucking ad that would be catchy.
It isn't a tour of your location or a hey, this is us.
Or an emotional Ford commercial. Yeah.
We will make you a fun commercial that actually leaves an impression.
But like apply that to a Super Bowl, right?
Right.
There's Gonzaga, right, locally out here, or other local things. If you're gonna do advertising or branding, go to where you know there's going to be fucking eyeballs. I don't care where it is. And then invest your money there to do some branding.
Right.
But you better have a friggin' catchy brand, video, picture, content, whatever the heck may be. Right?
If you're going to spend the money, and this is the same, if you're going to spend the money to put a video up on Facebook or YouTube or anywhere,
right,
invest the money to make a good video.
Yes.
Don't, and God, if you are actually spending money to put it on TV, make a good freaking commercial. Like, oh my God, we got cable, so we have cable, and I'm watching cable, and I'm seeing the commercials, and I am getting angry.
Dude,
like,
your fucking analogies when you do that are funny.
Mad. I am getting pissed off watching local channels.
Cable. I'm watching cable. I'm doing cable. Dude, you do that shit on every episode. I bust up, bro. Like,
no, I'm just saying.
That's like
whoever's making these commercials. It's not.
Yeah.
Please, like, I don't care if you contact him or me. Make a better commercial for television.
Just do a better commercial. I don't care what it is.
Just reach out to me.
Hey, you know what a good commercial would be? You know those cheesy ass car salesman commercials that have like, hi, I'm Gus. You know what I mean? Like, and they have like the chick in the background going like this and shit like that. Dude, those are fucking ROI positive, dude. Like, I'm telling you, those are the funniest things to watch.
The best commercial I ever saw that was like a car salesman one was they made a mock like Onion News style thing of this guy running a campaign, right? And it was like they ran it like a news thing, and they talked about how he was going to win the campaign, and everyone was supporting him, and it was amazing. And then at the very end, it was just like, and my campaign is to sell you vehicles from Ford, blah, 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 blah. And it was amazing because it just, and it was during the peak political season where, you know, Biden and Trump and but it actually... It was
so
amazing.
He played off of the market, but like didn't make it political.
No. It was like he's become a local hero, and everyone's supporting him. Everyone's coming out to support him. This is amazing. And you know, it never showed his full name. It was just kind of describing him as an anomaly, like a news report. And then he's just like, "Hi, I'm here to sell you vehicles. That is my purpose."
That's
and
tight.
He turned it into this ad is endorsed by.
Yeah.
So they took the two advertising things and brought it together, and that was a YouTube local ad, and I was like, yes.
Oh, YouTube pre-roll, huh?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I don't know how local it was, but it was
That's
legit.
smart, dude.
It made me laugh. I was like, that is amazing.
Yes. You know what? Let's end off the topic of like good places to do branding.
We have to wrap.
To do branding, right? YouTube pre-roll. So YouTube pre-roll ads are very underrated out here, right? Because when I see a YouTube pre-roll ad for a local company, I'll pay attention. Yeah. Because I don't ever see them. And if I do, it's like once in a freaking blue moon. So that would be my tip. If you're going to brand, if you're going to do a little bit or whatever the case may be, do a YouTube pre-roll ad and whatever. If you have a marketing company, I don't care. Tell them you want to do so Google owns YouTube, right?
Yeah.
It's from Google Ads. and you go into the campaign, create a campaign, and you do a conversion campaign, and you say you want website traffic, whatever the case may be. But do a YouTube, and you upload the video to YouTube, and then you can use that video to show people before they watch as a skippable or non-skippable ad, and right before they watch their content. And you can say that to everybody. That's literally the modern age TV is YouTube. It's the second largest search engine in the world. Millions and millions and millions of people a day use it. That's where you should be. If you're going to do a commercial, do it on freaking YouTube, bro.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the easiest freaking branding.
Well, it's on every phone, every TV. It's built onto iPhone. It's built onto pretty much every smart TV.
That's YouTube, right, too, yes.
Owned by Google, but across the board because of how huge it's gotten.
Right.
Like,
where would you suggest people go? So I'm saying YouTube. That's one. Where would you say the second best branding platform would be?
It depends on your demographic, but I'd say YouTube. Hulu just opened up local ads, but I haven't seen enough to know. Yeah. I think it's still, especially in our area, the cost of entry is still a little too high for our local community. It's on par with television.
Yeah, that's right.
But
that's right.
I would say I've been impressed with Facebook's ability to embed it into articles that you're reading.
It's true. Yeah.
Because you'll see the video ad, it'll be in your timeline, but it'll also be in the article.
That's true. Yes.
When I was running some political campaigns and we had their ads running over upcoming ballot votes, upcoming things that they were passionate about.
Right.
I was impressed because I was being targeted by them apparently through the way they set it up. I didn't even set it up. I just provided the very poignant video. But I was reading an article on something and it was in between the text, the video that we made.
And really? Yeah.
That's legit to be.
And that was off a Facebook article.
Yeah, to be reading a Facebook news article that's about something completely different, but our ad was in the text of that article.
So you're saying Facebook is a secondary?
I would say Facebook's a really good
completely
place
agree with you.
to put some video.
I would completely agree. I think
run some campaigns.
I think the pecking order,
with the learn more button or the take action button.
Yes.
It's integrated.
That's right.
And you don't pay unless they click or they view it for a while, right?
Yeah, I think you pay. You pay per conversion, but then also if they don't convert, you pay per 1,000 impressions.
Yeah.
Dude, 100%, man, I agree with you because the pecking order, what I would say is choose either or. I think they're both very valuable. Let's say let's keep it at the topic of the Pacific Northwest.
But you have to spend money. Like you have to be ready to spend money to make money. You have to put money into actually putting those things out because if you're only going to put $10 into it, it's
boost button.
No.
Hey, dude, create a graphic boost button.
We've said it.
Boost button.
We are going to make a hate ad for boost buttons.
Dude, you got to do a graphic right here when I do that.
It's going to be like boost button with the cross out thing, and then a boo.
That's tight, dude. Dude, you got to add in something like
this is Sparta.
You're adding to my editing.
I know. Sorry, dude. Boost button.
It's going to be
awesome. Yeah, dude. You got to spend the money. I mean, but like that's with branding. Branding's not cheap by any means. That's why it's like it's super funny when people are like, I want to start with branding. I'm like, you sure, bro? Like, you sure? Like, we can make you some money if you want. Like, no, I want to brand my business. I'm like,
yeah, and
like, dude, you realize how much goes into branding your business.
Branding should be the first thing they do too. Like,
it should, but you know what? I would say like there's some really good business owners that like have great ideas and they just really don't have the money. Yeah. Like because like when I was starting, right, I had before I even went full time with my business, I had 6 years of marketing experience. Mm-hmm. I knew exactly what to do. I didn't have the funds to brand myself, so I understand the bootstrapping mentality of like. But you have to get that. Like me, I knew I couldn't afford branding, right? So I was like, what's the next best thing? Well, I need to go market my business. Well, I couldn't afford that either. So I just went to like networking groups and I just organically got it.
Handshake business.
Yeah, handshake business, you know.
Which is really big up here, but.
It is. But mostly people will stop at the advertising and say, okay, I got $500 or something I can put into that. Mm-hmm. Then when you start seeing results in your paid advertising, that's going to generate you money on the back end to afford your branding. Yeah. But you can't stop at paid advertising. You just can't because you don't want to put your business in a position where it relies on paid advertising.
What I would do is, come up with a good name for your business. That's part of branding. Get a passable logo. Invest in a logo.
I think Fiverr has some good people too for like 50 to like $100 or something.
So get a logo close to what you'll want. Get a website, and then just have those things as you start.
Yeah.
And then just piece it together. As you make money, run good ads, get the revenue and then improve upon.
Yes.
A brand evolves like a person evolves.
That's right.
A person changes over time. A brand can change over time. That's okay. But do not deviate from your core purpose.
That's right. You know what? I'll give you an example, bro. Like, this is a perfect example. I just had a meeting.
Then we have to wrap.
Yes, and then we have to do this. I had a guy that I met with yesterday. He owns a Land Cruiser, custom building Land Cruiser company.
Ooh.
And we were talking back and forth, and he went from bottom up, building Land Cruisers or like servicing them, doing all this stuff, and then now he's getting clients that are paying him $200,000 to $300,000 for a custom build.
Damn.
But his website didn't. So he wants a website from me, and he was like, honestly, man, my website doesn't match what my clients are. I was very impressed because he identified that, like, okay, I've reached the threshold of my business where I've outgrown where I've gotten to. My clients are giving me, instead of $10,000 for a build, I'm getting $200,000 to $300,000 for a build.
He recognizes the need to
and he's
evolve.
like, my website needs to represent where I'm at. That's branding. Your brand can change at all times, but you need to start somewhere. He started very, very basic, worked his way up into getting a entry-level website, and then now he's like, dude, I need a website that like literally screams I can build $200,000 to $300,000 freaking cars.
Well, and those things they level out. It's like a stair stepper.
Right.
As one thing improves, the other thing needs to as well. Mm-hmm. As your business pivots into this, your branding needs to pivot into that. It's always evolving.
It's changing.
The core of what you are and what you can do will stay the same, and who you are as the business owner that puts that business forward will probably stay the same, but you have to be able to let it evolve with the times and be able to, if you're going to make money and if you're going to be successful, you cannot be afraid to just evolve the brand and be intentional.
And yes, you have to pivot, man. You have to pivot. You should put the meme in of like the Friends episode where he's like, pivot. You should put that like right up there. Like,
pivot. Shut up!
Ross.
See, Josh is making this super fun to edit now.
Dude.
We're just going to have so much fun.
Bro, these are clips.
These
are clips, dude.
Video clip, pivot.
So if anybody doesn't know, so Travis edits the fucking podcast and he does a fucking phenomenal job. Like, shout out to him. But yeah, I know. Sorry, dude, I'm giving you tasks, bro. Listen, dude, we're doing this together, bro. Like, listen, we're doing this together,
Push
man.
It out there, reach the millions. I'll make it worth watching.
We're shooting on my camera so you can edit, so it evens out. Pivot.
Okay, let's review this whiskey.
Yeah, dude, let's get into it. So Wolf Moon straight bourbon whiskey. What do you think?
I kind of like it.
I don't know. I need to take another drink. Hold on.
It's harsh. I mean, definitely has the sting, as they put it.
I just taste the spice in the smokiness.
There's not much more.
There's
to it.
not a lot of flavor I taste from it. I don't taste any notes of. I don't taste anything other than that. I just taste the smokiness and the bite of the whiskey. I don't taste vanilla. I don't taste nuttiness. It's pretty basic, straightforward. It's straight bourbon. Well, that's what it is. But usually, like with a straight bourbon, sometimes I taste like vanilla and nuttiness and the oily coating feeling. I don't taste any of that, dude. It's just like it's pretty straightforward. How much was this?
I don't remember.
So if you bought it in a line, it's
probably like close to 35.
Close to 35? Okay.
25.
Yeah, Wolf Moon straight bourbon whiskey. I'd recommend it if it's like, if you're into that thing.
You can mix it. too, or put it over ice. Ice helps.
Like an old fashioned or something.
Yeah, I had it over ice the other night.
Actually, you know what? An old fashioned would probably be pretty good with this, to be honest.
Or some ginger,
some bitters and
some ginger ale. You could do a good Kentucky Mule with this.
Dude, Kentucky Mules are fucking fire, bro.
I introduced him to Kentucky Mules.
Yeah, backstory, dude. We went to so one time it was like, so I like Moscow mules. And he was like, dude, try a Kentucky Mule. It has whiskey. I'm like, I don't know about that, bro. Dude, I tried it, dude, and it was fucking amazing.
The ginger just pairs so well.
Well, you have to have the right bourbon, though, dude. Like, I think a straight bourbon is what you need.
Vodka, the sweetness and like the weird gingery, like acidicity is like so much.
Yeah, that's true.
But when you get a good whiskey in there, it
changed the flavor, bro. Like it changed flavor.
It's sweet. It's good.
I don't think like an Old Forester would do good in a Kentucky
and I wouldn't pour like top.
Yeah, $175 bottle fucking whiskey.
That you sip straight or over ice, not too much, and you appreciate the burn. This
so like maybe a Jameson or a Wolf Moon, huh?
Yeah, this or some lower shelf stuff. I mean, mix it all day long.
Fucking sick, dude. You know what? Maybe there'll be a segment we should do with like Kentucky Mules. We should make them.
Oh yeah, dude. I have a couple of the.
So with all listeners listening, so as of this podcast coming out, we'll be almost moved in. Travis is moving into my office. My buddy Andy's moving out. Unfortunately, he's got bigger and better things to go to, and he needs a bigger office. So Travis is moving into my office because it has two conjoining offices inside of the actual one office. So we're gonna be, this podcast room is actually gonna change.
Yeah.
So that could be a whole thing, man, where we like
celebrate the
new thing with a Kentucky Mule, bro. Like
yeah.
And maybe we make a few of them with different whiskeys, man, and we just review which one tastes better.
That would be a lot of fun.
I would be so down for that. His significant other is going to design the background, so let us know what you think. But yeah, when you hear this, we're about a week out, so that'll be freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, we're gonna have a whole new studio. It's gonna be decorated, the decor, my office in the studio.
Yes.
It's gonna be super, super nice. So.
It's gonna be for OnlyFans though. Our OnlyFans at Miller Media Co. and
on the casting couch in
couch in my office, OnlyFans. So look me up.
And we lost more subscribers.
Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, where'd my subscribers go?
Anyway, there goes the 3. Damn it.
Yeah, I know. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching on this episode of Whiskey Business Podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or want to know anything about other marketing topics or see what we want to talk about, have any suggestions down in the comments below. We'll be... people can look us up on Pulse CDA, so Pulse Productions, but Pulse CDA at handle Miller Media Co. on every platform, or you can just comment on this video or podcast. Yeah. We both will see it. We pretty much, we're just starting out. We'll see all that stuff.
And we're launching the YouTube and Facebook.
That's right. Instagram. Yeah. Keep up with that. So YouTube, Instagram, and a Facebook page on Whiskey and Business. We're actually going to launch that stuff here pretty soon. Yep. So we're going to be uploading all the episodes there. We'll also have them on our normal pages, but for the most part, all this stuff will be there. If you comment on any of that, we'll see it. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next week. Peace.
Bye.